Hi guys, welcome back to Lensday Wednesday. It's been a bit of a gap there, and as usual, life catches up with us a little bit, but we're straight back into the thick of it with another one of the great whites. In fact, this is probably the smallest of the great whites, and the fact that it's round about the same size as the 400mm DO from a couple of episodes back. This is the 200mm f2L IS lens, and quite an incredible little piece of glass this is. If you might remember the 200mm f2.8 that we did a couple of months back, which was substantially smaller and a black lens and a substantially narrower type of piece of glass, when you consider how much engineering has to go into making this an entire stop brighter, from f2.8 to f2.0, the physical size that lens has to change is quite huge. Now if we take that hood off and we just look at the lens itself, massive front element, the standard sort of focus ring that you would find on one of the great whites, all the bells and whistles from a button point of view, stabilizer on and off. The stabilizer mode on this is running only about 2-3 stops because it's quite an older generation lens. Very popular amongst fashion, beauty, indoor sports kind of environments where you do need a little bit of distance from you to the subject, but not massive, and you really want to throw that background out. At f2, my gosh, you are throwing the background out. It's sharp in the middle, magnificently sharp in the middle, but the fall off to the edges of the corner of the frame is huge, giving you that very pleasing, very soft, blurry background. When you start shooting at f2.8, f4, this lens really starts to shine, and the edge-to-edge sharpness really goes up quite dramatically. As you expect out of one of the great white lenses, drop-in filter holder at the back as normal. Put your poly in there, put a neutral density if you want. The focus stop, the focus preset buttons, as we've had from the older lenses. But this is one of the last ones we've made before we went to the generation 2s with the 5-stop stabilizers. There's not a massively popular lens, not a huge selling lens. You would often find a lot of people who are looking at something this kind of focal length would often invest in the new 300 2.8. That 300 2.8 with a 5-stop stabilizer really makes a big difference. A little bit of extra focal length for a lot of environments is fantastic. But if you need 200mm and you need super bright, this is the one to go for. There's quite a lot of them in the second-hand market, especially its predecessor, which was the 200mm 1.8, which at its time was quite a crazy achievement for Canon to do. When they put the stabilizer in, 1.8 wasn't quite so possible anymore, and f2 is where they went to. I don't see Canon make any radical changes to this in any kind of hurry, purely because it's not as popular as the 300, 400, 500. So this will probably be around for a good couple of years in pretty much the same sort of incarnation, and that older, slightly grayer type of look compared to the newer, brighter, whiter lens coloring is just something you're just going to see fading out as the lenses get older. But anyway, a very interesting piece of glass. Not a cheap lens at all, but I mean, if fashion, indoor sports is your thing and you need to get closer to a subject, but you also want to throw that background out, sure, what a beautiful piece of glass.